Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special video because we're celebrating my very first year on YouTube. Yes, and I wanted to celebrate that with you because 365 days ago, exactly on the 16th of April 2020, I recorded and released my very first video. That video is INFJs and ENFPs, I believe. And yeah, I was not sure I was going to post it, and then eventually I did. And in the end, I just kept on doing it, and it was very natural. And you know, I just went with the flow, and eventually I just kept on doing it. And it's now a year later. I also started coaching people via YouTube, something that I was doing already outside of a YouTube channel. And then I integrated the Myers-Briggs part, and I've been helping people, also viewers of my channel, to overcome difficulties, to become a better version of themselves. And yeah, it's been a very satisfactory, I hope that's a word, year. So with a lot filled with satisfaction, lots of satisfaction, because many people reaches out to me on social media, sends emails, and they like my content, and I'm so happy that I can help these people. People tell me, hey, I could overcome, I don't know, addictions, and I'm working on this thing of my personality type because of what you say on your video. So that's very meaningful to me, and I am so thankful that I get to help other people and to serve with my content. And to celebrate this very first year, I'm going to do a Q&A. And by the way, this video I'm filming on the 16th of April, so today is it's the same day, and I'm going to post it on the 16th of April. So normally you see my videos have been recorded like the week before, or 2 weeks ago, or a month or two, sometimes 2 months ago. Actually, I have some videos to release that I recorded like 2 months ago. But today, because it's a special day, I'm filming it and I'm releasing it today. It's an unedited video because I want to keep it real, and I want to just, you know, feel like I'm talking to all of you who are watching. So some weeks ago, I asked on the community tab for your questions, things that you wanted to know about me, about Myers-Briggs, I don't know, whatever you wanted me to answer. And so I have the questions here, and I'm going to read them and I'm going to answer them, okay? So this is my way to celebrate my very first year with you all. Don't forget to please like my video, to comment on whatever you want to comment about. Of course, what I'm saying, the questions about my channel. Tell me, share with me, please, what my channel has given you, if it has helped you, if anything. I want to hear your feedback of my channel and myself for this very first year. All right, so now first question I have here, and the question says, out of curiosity, do you have a lot of INTJs in your life to have seen their behaviors? Well, that's a good question, and I guess this question comes from a person who has noticed that I have a lot of INTJ videos on my channel. And I want to answer this. And do I have a lot of INTJs in my life? I do. I do have. So my dad is an INTJ. Two of my best friends while I was growing up are INTJs. And of the past maybe 10 years, I also have INTJ friends. It's not that everybody is an INTJ, because I have friends of all of the personality types, almost, kind of. But INTJs are quite like people who really understand me, who are very thoughtful, and so they're very close in my close circle of people. But on top of that, on top of like my family and stuff, I'm a coach, and I coach people, and the people who I coach comes also through my YouTube channel. And most of them, of my current clients, are INTJs. So I get to see also a lot of INTJs through working with them as a coach. So the more the time passes, the more YouTube videos I make and I post, and the more I interact with people and I do coaching, the more I learned about INTJs. So my knowledge about INTJs is only growing and growing, therefore, which is not the same with, I don't know, ISTJ, for example. I have ISTJ friends. Well, I have one ISTJ friend, but sorry, one moment. but I don't have that much information. So therefore, INTJ is a type that I can talk a lot about. Of course, ENFPs as well. And the other types I talk a lot about on my channel. But just to summarize these questions, yes, I do have a lot of INTJs, friends, family, and clients, and all of you who also reach out to me through private messages on social media, through emails, INTJs. So most of my viewers are ENFPs and INTJs. And so there you have, that's your answer. Question number 2. How does it feel like to be an extrovert, being curious of people? And this person is an INTJ, and he says, we don't find it exciting to understand people as much as we would like to understand systems. So they're curious to know how is it like to be an extrovert. Well, for me, being an extrovert, because I can only talk about myself, for me, it feels like I am very curious about the outer world, and most importantly about people. And I guess that's why I do also, like, I make videos and I do coaching, because people just excites me and interested me, and I feel like whenever I am talking to a person, I feel like I'm discovering a new world. So, and that feeds me, that makes me feel like alive. I feel like I feel alive. And also being an extrovert for me is like this excitement I feel. It's an excitement when I go out to the outer world. I do need lots of downtime, and I do take it, but it does not compare like the peace I feel when I'm at home, when I'm resting, when I'm now I'm in my hotel room. But it doesn't compare to what I feel like when I'm out and I see like the world moving, people moving, interacting. I see what's happening around. It's like the outer world seems to energizes me, and people excites me, and I love seeing how other people's work, how their minds, you know, connect information, how do they feel, how do they react to things. So that's how is it like for me to be an extrovert. If I can, yeah, I can say this is it for me. Question number 3. What is it like being an extrovert, and what drains you? Well, I think I already responded this question, so let's go to the next question. How do you stay motivated? How do I stay motivated? That's a very good question. I live by my principles, first of all. So for me, this was a key point to stay motivated is, first of all, finding out what my core values are, what my principles are. And for instance, one of my principles are, well, I can say, like, I'm gonna just share, is to be honest with myself. I even have a tattoo on my arm, and well, you're not gonna be able to read it probably. Eerlijk zijn, that's Dutch for being honest to myself, basically. And everything I do needs to be connected to being honest. So I need to know if what I'm doing aligns with who I am and where I want to be. And to do this, so I need to know what is important to me, you see? So once I knew this, for me, it is easy to say, well, for me, it's important, for instance, to being able to follow my heart and my curiosity and do something that allows me to be free, to have freedom. And I just go with the flow. And the fact that I'm going with the flow and that I'm feeling what I have to do next, that's already for me living in purpose. That's already kind of, you know, living my truth, because that's what feels right to me. So I do that, and then I find, for instance, I find myself making YouTube videos, and I just naturally see how this unfolds, and then I make the next decisions, you know. So okay, now I'm going to offer also my coaching practice to the YouTube viewers and all of that, and you know, trying to live by my principles and living by my principles and making sure, constantly monitoring what I'm doing and checking out that I am doing this. That's one of my core motivations, to keep following my heart and keep flowing with life in a natural way. So that's number one. Another motivation for me is to be able to serve people with what I do. And as I said at the beginning of this video, I feel like I very much do it with this channel because I post content that helps people, that people reaches out to me to say, hey, this really changed my life, this really has helped me. And so for me, it is easy to say, well, I'm gonna continue doing this right now, this way, at least until it feels right, because I am fulfilling all of these criteria I am explaining. So one important thing for me is to know my core values, what is important, what does matter for me. And because if I know this, then that becomes into like the big picture. That's my big picture. That's where I want to go and what I want to reach. And if I know this, then I'm gonna do everything in order to get there. But in order to keep myself on track and stay motivated, because not every day I'm gonna think, okay, I'm doing, I don't know, my YouTube channel because of this, sometimes I forget, and I have a diary, like a book, a journal, where I write down the things that matters to me, and then I see them, I look at them often, or I do write often what is important to me. I also stay motivated. Another thing is by being grateful. So I will write what I'm grateful for on my journal. I also share a lot of what I'm grateful for on my Instagram. If you don't follow me yet, do it, because I share daily stories. And there I try to, share my life philosophy with everybody who watches. And hopefully I get to also motivate some people sometimes. Sometimes it's just fun, and I just share my daily things when I'm walking on the street, and yeah, I just try to make it light and fun. But okay, getting back to the questions. So that's how I stay motivated. All right, there is another question that says, what's your star sign? So this is zodiac question. So I am a Cancer, Sun, Cancer, rising sign. So both are Cancer. My moon is in Virgo, and I'm Virgo, Venus Virgo as well. So there you go. So my chart, if you're into astrology, my chart is pretty much earth and water. I don't have much fire or air on my chart. There you go. Next questions. Are INTJs your favorite? Well, I make content for INTJs not because they're my favorites, but because I know a lot of them. Therefore, I have a lot of knowledge in me that I can share with them. And more content is always coming up. I could not say that INTJs are my favorite. INTJs are the ones like I talk the most about outside of ENFPs. I talk a lot about ENFPs as my number one type, and then INTJs. Because they are most of my followers, they're most of the people who reaches out to me, they're most of my one-on-one clients as well. They're the most engaged of my crowd. So thank you, INTJs. I need to say thank you for being so awesome and for always supporting me and what I do. So yeah, I can say, well, INTJs are my favorite, ENFPs are my favorites, INFJs are also my favorites. I cannot say like I have one favorite type. I can say I know more, or I have had more interactions, therefore I can make more videos about something more than the other. I think that's what YouTube is about. I guess it's about sharing knowledge, or at least that's what it is for me. All right, next question says, if you were stuck on a deserted island, what personality type would you want to be stuck with, and why? Well, and there comes more questions, but okay, let's stop here. And what type? I think with an ENFJ or an INTJ. Why? Because I have just great relationships with them, and I can really talk a lot with them. And about, it seems like about almost anything. The ENFJ is just really fun, and well, INTJs as well. But I like that the ENFJs, like this outgoing extrovert thing, they seem to be more extroverted than me even. And I do understand why, because I guess extroverted intuition has a lot of introversion as well itself. It tries to do internal processes in the mind, so takes information from the outside and then puts it in and tries to connect all of the information, and that requires a lot of like downtime. But the ENFJ has extroverted feeling, and they're more like outside in general. And the INTJ, I don't have to explain more. If you have seen my channel, you know that I like them. So I think I would choose one of these two types because I just like them, and I have lived with both types, and I just know that it's a good dynamic. What single comfort item, food, book, pillows, etc., would you want with you? This is a tough one. Yeah, of course, food. I wouldn't go for a book if I don't have food. I need food first. I wouldn't go for a pillow. I wouldn't go for anything else. I think I need food, okay? And water. I hope food contains water as well. Knowing that you're many miles away from civilization, would you plan to try and eventually get off the deserted island, or would you make the best of it and live there to the fullest of your ability? I think that one would depend on my mood. I'm a changeable person, and I don't think I will want the same one day or 1 weekend than the other in this particular case. So maybe one day I say like, yes, I'm gonna do the best of it. Maybe that's gonna be my most natural way. Like I would think, okay, I'm gonna do, like, if it's a nice island, I would think, like, I'm gonna stay here. If it's a nice island. If it's not a nice island, I would probably say like, okay, I'm gonna escape. But even if it's a nice island, I would eventually think of escaping probably. So that's what I think. What's your relationship with your family like? What is it like growing up versus now? And that's like very good questions. So my family is this. I have a like INTJ father, ESTJ mother, ENTJ younger sister, and I have an older sister than me, an ISTJ older sister, and an ENFJ older sister. Although I think she's more ESFJ than ENFJ. Okay, what was it like growing up? My older sister, the one that I just mentioned, the one who I think she's an ESFJ, although she says she's an ENFJ. She grew up for the most part with my grandmother, and that's the sister with whom I also had like a very good connection while growing up. With my younger sister growing up, that was not very like good because we were fighting a lot. And with my parents and with my other stancer sister, it was always like I didn't feel like they got me. I felt very not understood by them. It was very tough growing up. And my dad was always this kind of parent from the 90s who was, thinking of work and then like working and then just an introvert, just in his own bubble, reading and just being on his own. So he was not someone who was like, okay, let's now spend time together and do fine things together. Not at all. And my mother and my sons and sisters, so it was just like a bit, I didn't feel like I belonged to my family, honestly. I never said this before. It's the first time now you're knowing more about me. But eventually, when I already moved out, my relationship with my parents or with my family started to get better. I got closer to them, and nowadays I just have a very good relationship with them. With my dad, I have a very good relationship. We call on the phone and we talk about anything and everything. We have a very nice dynamic. But that was not like when I was growing up. So I guess it has to do also with the fact that, he gets older and I grow up, or I learn more about life, and we both meet in the middle, kind of. And the same goes to my mother, although I cannot say that I have like the connection as close as I have with my INTJ dad, because it's just, we just really get one another. Look, I have a good family life. Okay, let me pick, because I won't be able to do all of the questions. Let me do a last question. What sorts of jobs have you had, and what did you like, dislike, and learn from each? Oof, I have had almost every sort of job. Not really, but you know, I have had many types of jobs. I was always curious, and I never wanted to settle down for just one thing. And I don't know if I would ever only settle down for one thing. I have a video where I talk about being a multi-potential. I am that. I do have different things or jobs I do. So just to summarize, I have worked, like my very first job, I said in another video as well, I worked in a contact center, and then I run my own imports business. I was like selling and distributing perfumes in my early 20s. No, actually I was 18. Was it 19? I don't remember. Then I went on and I was working as a script writer. By the way, during my teens, I was an actress as well. I was acting in theaters and in local sitcoms as well. And then when, like later on, when I was a writer, because this was while I was like in secondary school, but when I was still studying university, I started working first as a copywriter, also always as a bit of a writer, then as a script writer for sitcoms as well. Then I started then I created my own business as a pet sitter and a hotel for pets. Then I started designing hats. So I had a hat business. Then what did I do? I went to work as a project manager somewhere. Now I am, like, that was for HR, by the way. And then I went to work as a conservation photographer. You're gonna say, like, have you had many lifetimes? It seems like, because I just change, and my curiosity leads me, and I do one thing and then another, and I just go with the flow. And right now I'm still doing the photography thing, and but it's more like a sort of documentary. So I document the work of non-profits in the Netherlands, but now I'm not there, but I'm here, but I still do work there. I'm a coach and I make content for you. So that's what I do right now, but I'm considering other stuff as well. I was doing other things. I was working also some days a week before as a fitness trainer. But then I stopped doing it because I was like, no, I need to focus, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. And I think the job as a project manager, that was something that I took for a while, because I had like this goal that I wanted to do, like, you know, have like this savings and then go back to the entrepreneurial thing. And that's what I did. I did that for 3 years, but that showed me, then taught me so much of things that now I apply into like my businesses right now. So that's me right now, and I think I'm gonna leave it there. Am I missing a questions? I'm sure I am. What are my main goals in life? And I'm going to just answer this very last one and shortly, and then I'm gonna finish. My main goal in life is really to be myself, to become fully who I am, and to, you know, cut off myself all of the conditionment, I think that's the word, you know, all things that I learned from my parents, from society, from education. My main goal in life is to, you know, forget and remove all of that and just be myself. And I feel like I'm being myself right now. So that's one thing. Another thing, I want to always live a creative life. Another thing, I want to always be of service for the humanity and for people with whatever thing I do. That always needs to be like in my bigger picture of I can't do anything. And so I hope that my life is of service at the very end with everything I do. Every post I put, even on Instagram or here on YouTube. And I think, my goal of my life is to live an inspired life. Actually, that was the name of a blog I had at some point. All right, I'm gonna leave it now because it's a very long video. thank you for watching, and thank you for tuning in, and for for supporting me, and for being very nice and kind to me. All of the people that have donated the coffees, thank you very much. For all of the people who has trusted me during this past year as a coach, my pleasure to serve you. And also thank you for following me in my social media accounts, and love you much. Thank you for being there, and see you next time.